Hi, all. This is Dr. Dave Maslach talking about reciprocity.com, the sharing economy proofreading platform that I'm trying to build. The E is spelled with a 3. And today I wanted to talk to you about was building a reputation in the age of noise. I think this is very important. I'm gonna get into what do I mean by an age of noise. And then after that, I'm going to talk to you about how do you actually build a reputation in this current economy. So I remember reading probably about 15, 20 years ago and now about how the world was going to become so interconnected because of the internet. It's going to be really easy to talk to and sell or market anything to absolutely anybody around the world. And this is a particular, this was sold as the sort of selling feature of the internet. And yes, this is true. You can communicate and talk to anybody around the world. I can talk to, I talk to one of my co-authors on a regular basis in the UK, and it's instantaneous. I can see his face, and it's absolutely wonderful that I can see his face. I talk to people in Italy, and I can see their face at the same time. And it's wonderful that I can do this. But here's the thing. If you are trying to do any sort of big endeavor and you're trying to get the word out about this big endeavor, here's the thing, is that the world is full of noise. What this world has created, this interconnected world has created, it has created the opportunity for anybody to sell anything, and you get so bombarded with noise, with all of this other information coming towards you, that you just don't know where to go to. You don't know where to turn to. And what it is, or what the particular problem with the world of noise is that people have to invite you, so you can talk to anybody and get into their backyard. You can understand their backyard. You can see the world and see where they're coming from. You could see, this is my house right now. You can see the inside of my house, but people have to invite you into their house, and that's really difficult to get to that moment where people are actually communicating and interacting with you. So it's not simply just the information and computing technology that matters and all of these different tools that matters, but all of the decisions that people make beyond that information and computing technology. And there's a great reason why this actually occurs. At least this is my own belief, and sort of I've been following along in this research for a while. Again, I'm a professor of innovation and strategy in entrepreneurship, and this is something that we kind of think about on a regular basis. And the reason is that people are very limited in their attention and cognitive abilities. So we cannot pay attention to one single thing very, very long. People just can't do that. We have sort of evolutionary traits of why that is. And as well as our cognitive abilities, we're not machines. We can't think through absolutely everything and process all this information coming towards you. So if you think of all of this noise, all of this information, all these information channels coming towards you, you can't pay attention to all of these different things coming towards you all at once. It's just because we're not machines. We're not processing that information. In fact, machines can't do that. And what machines simply do is they do it faster than us. They still get bogged down. They still have the same limitations that we do. It is not an infinite resource. We can't pay attention. We can't process all information all at once. And there's great reason why this actually does exist. It's not just simply because of the geographic boundaries that we have, but over the course of hundreds of thousands of years, we were limited within these evolutionary boundaries, and within these geographic boundaries, and we didn't necessarily need to look beyond those boundaries. So it didn't make any sense to look beyond them and to be able to look beyond your nearest neighbor, your immediate neighbor. It was just not a need. So from an evolutionary stance, it doesn't make any sense for our abilities to not be very, very localized, right? So to think that we're going to be able to change and process and look at all this information in, say, 10, 15 years and be able to communicate on sort of a free basis around the world, I think is a little bit foolhardy to think about that in that way. Now, what should you do in this case to how can you actually get the word out about something that you are trying to do and sell something or market something. And I don't like the word sell as in, being very pushy, but just letting people know that there's something out there. Well, what you have to do is, if there is one person that is willing to let you into their backyard and pay attention to what you are saying, that one person, you should cherish that, because that is where a relationship starts, and that's where it actually grows. It's because these relationships don't grow, and the ability to sort of tell people about different things doesn't grow because of the information technology. That's not the basis of it. That's only just a really small fraction of what actually has to happen. But it's through the word of mouth of others. It's other people telling things about what you are doing and what the thing that you're working on, and getting that word out. That's how it grows and develops. It's through the word of mouth. And now there are sort of systems in place where that machines try to replicate this word of mouth, such as search engines and things like that try to replicate this word of mouth. But at the end of the day, it grows very slowly, and it's got to be people telling other people about, hey, this is a really cool thing that this one person is doing. Why don't you go check it out? There's some stuff there that you can look at and pay attention to. And that's how this grows. It is very much this person-to-person sort of phenomenon. And a lot of machines, a lot of software tries to replicate that by, say, having followers, for example. And these followers allow people to see that there's other people following along, and it gets communicated that way. There's this sort of share thing that gets communicated that way. But it's really just trying to replicate, and it's trying to look at this word of mouth. And those online sort of substitutes of that particular technology or of that process of the word of mouth are not nearly as good as the word of mouth that you actually get through people just telling other people about what you're doing. And that's really how things grow, and that's how it develops. And that's why it takes such a long time to develop something. And that's why building a reputation is so important. There's so much noise around this. There's so much information coming from many different sources and many different channels that people just get overwhelmed. But there's one thing that is really extraordinary and really different that a lot of people don't do, and that is sticking with something that is very, very unusual. So if you think of all these information channels towards you, most people are very distracted, and they're flipping to different things and trying different things constantly. Or they're saying, well, this is cool, let's go do this, or that's cool, let's go do this. But the people that stay with one thing, and they have a course, and they're continuously to move forward in those courses, we love those stories because they're so unusual. We really love these sort of hero stories where somebody is building something and you can see it develop over time. That's why we love these movies and shows about survivors, for example. Or the one that my family and I love is American Ninja Warrior, where we can see that people are doing these crazy things that they don't seem humanly possible, but the way they get there is they continuously train and they develop. And we love those stories where we can see somebody develop and become something because they're focused on something that a lot of people couldn't possibly do. And this focus and just sticking with something, that is what actually builds momentum. And that's what people love to share about, and that's what people talk about, is this, well, look at this is really cool, somebody's building this, and they're repeatedly producing something over and over and over again. People are enamored with that, and that's what you should be doing, is whatever you're building, whatever you're working on, is you should focus on that one thing, and you repeatedly do that over and over and over again. Doesn't matter, you don't have to tell people what you're doing, you just have to keep working at it. And, it's going to get out. The word is going to get out, and people are going to start talking about it, and it's going to spread slowly, but that's how it works. And these things, and it's an exponential, what we call an exponential function of how things spread. So it might be that only 2 people know about something at the beginning or following that thing at the beginning, but then guess what? Those 2 people tell 2 other people, right? And now there's, now you have all of these people here. There's 6 people that know about it. And then those 6 people know, they start telling more people, right? And so all of a sudden you got all these people telling so many, it just spreads that way, and it becomes a very, very large audience. At the beginning, it seems very slow and it goes very slowly, but then it starts to grow and develop. And you can see a lot of people doing this kind of process, and you have I have a tremendous amount of respect for them that develop and build something over the course of weeks or years. It's a course of the people that we pay attention to and we sort of look fondly upon are the people that do something for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. I can see that's the reason. So I'm a professor of innovation, and I'm just, at this moment, I'm an assistant professor, but there are full professors around me that I have tremendous respect for, because I know that took years and years and years of dedication. It took 20, 30 years of focusing on one particular research project or one stream of research, and that is a long time to stick with something. Or if you look at all the, say, TV personalities or sort of management gurus, they didn't become successful overnight in any sort of means. The reason why they became, or that we pay attention to them, is that they've been providing great advice for a very, very long time, and that stick-to-itiveness is what actually causes other people to pay attention to what they're doing. So if you like these videos, and if you want to learn more about reciprocity, you can, and again, the E is spelled with a 3, you could just, you can subscribe. If you like this particular video, do the old thumbs up. You could do that as well, that's fine. That's my favorite noise. And I do that with my kids all the time. If you like that, that's fine. If you want to continue following along, you can do that. You can check out reciprocity. The E is spelled with a 3. See what I'm doing. And that's all I wanted to tell you. Have a good day. Take care. And I'm going to see you on the next video. Bye.